Meanwhile, the concerned students of the University of Ghana, on behalf of the entire students across all campuses, say they are deeply appalled, even fearful about UTAG strike action, and would like to plead with their lecturers to rescind their decision and return to the lecture halls. And joining me in the studio this afternoon is the convener of the concerned students of Legon, John Inketia, and Mikdad Mohammed. He is spokesperson of the concerned students of Legon. Good afternoon and welcome. Let me first begin with you, John. Is the strike action by UTAG justified?
Clearly, I must say that to a bizarre extent that the strike action to some extent is justifiable. But we did indicate in the press release that as students, we take most, if not all, of our inspiration from our lecturers, and they've always been advising us that if instances of such occurred, we should resort to the round table to argue at our point. So clearly, though their action is being justifiable, but the decision to embark upon a nationwide strike is what we are pleading to them to rescind such a decision.
Now, Mikdad, as a student, how is the strike action affecting most students on campus?
Yes, when you get to the University of Ghana campus, students are disillusioned, they are even angry and disappointed at the turn of events. Because, you know, the University of Ghana resumed on 7th August. Let's wait till KNUSC resume next week. That is when we will feel the full brunt of this strike action. And our demand is not that to condemn our lecturers. As students, we are always on the side of our lecturers, despite the fact that we know that government has settled their interim arrears. The market arrest has been settled, but the problem now arises as to their research and book allowance, which has been an impasse. But in all of this, then one consideration is being lost. The fact that it is the average student who has paid his fees fully, waiting to be tutored in the academic arts. He is there waiting, and then he's been made the victim of two elephants fighting. We are not going to say that as the ground we are resisting to suffer at two elephants fight. What we are saying is that consider the times we find ourselves in. We have a court case pending. The most dangerous tool that can be used by agent provocateurs in this country is a group of idle students on any university campus without any lecturers attending to them. They can be provoked to act in a way that will be very, very dangerous for this country. And so whilst we sympathize sincerely with our lecturers, they have been mistreated, they have been manhandled when it comes to issues of salaries. They have been made to feel that they are powerless and they take whatever is presented to them on the table. We said with them that we should fight and resist and demand for our shares of the national cake. But in these considerations, like we said in our release, some amount of academic considerations for the side of the students should be made in these things. And so we plead that they come back to the lecture room as early as possible.
Now, John, one of the main reasons UTAG is on strike is because of the book and research allowance, and a lot of mishap or a lot of disturbances have come out as a result of this. As a student, do you think they deserve this book and research allowance?
Clearly, I have decided not to comment on such issues. But what we are doing is that we don't want to bastardize or chastise any of the parties involved in this. But what we are saying is that we are pleading to our lecturers to rescind their decision and return to the classroom, because we are innocent people and we are calling on them to show some modicum of mercy on our academic calendar.
Yes, I think on this issue of research and book allowance, there is no university in the world where research and book allowance is thrown out of the table by creating a certain fund that you think will serve the purpose. I think what government lacked in this respect is a broad stakeholder consultation in the introduction of such a fund to cater for the teachers' research and allowance. It is for them. And so it is right that any attempt to introduce anything that will replace their book and research allowance be done in broad consultation with the parties. So it doesn't happen that the president of UTAG is watching television TV3, he sees that this is what government is planning. It appears strange. It appears that there's a certain backdoor conspiracy to rob them of what is rightly theirs. As I speak to you, the University of Ghana is lacing its boots to become a fully fledged research university in climate change, in policy evaluation and what have you. So it is right that UTAG at this moment demand for its pound of flesh, which will enhance whatever prospects universities in Ghana are moving in the 21st century.
Now, I'm sure you've had talks with vice chancellors on campus. I'm sure you've also had talks with, I don't know whether with the Minister of Education as a student body. Let me find out from you. Do you get a commitment from them that this issue, the strike action will be resolved anytime soon?
Yeah, it's still in the pipeline. Clearly, we In the press release, we did indicate on it a carbon copy. We'll be sending some to the Ministry of Education, to all vice chancellors across the campuses in Ghana here. So clearly we are still on, and we are pleading to them to rescind such a decision.
Let me come to you. You also invited the National Peace Council to intervene in this issue.
Yes, like I indicated in my earlier statement, the presence of the National Peace Council in this process has become very important, in that you have a group of 14,000, 17,000 students roaming university campuses, having nothing to do. They wake up in the morning, they are folding their hands, observing the media. What becomes of our lecturers? When are they coming? Anybody who would like to invoke the power of students on the streets with regards to the outcome of the Supreme Court will find it very easy to do that. He will go there, he will get his agents on the ground, he will recruit the boys, and there is disorder. Let us also not forget this fact that just this morning we have had information that the U.S. Embassy has warned its citizens in this country. I think we had a problem with our fees. As students, we had to go to the round table. We made painful concessions. We agreed on what was given us, not because we were wrong, but because we thought that the best was to maintain peace at this very moment. And so in that light, we are pleading with our lecturers, although our students will never go against them. We believe that they must stand their grounds, they must fight and demand what is theirs. But the consideration is that when two elephants fight, the ground suffers, and one elephant must be sympathetic to the ground, so the fight ceases. And
that is the plea of the concerned students of Legon. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I've been speaking with the convener of the concerned students of Legon, John Inketia, and Mikdad Mohammed. He is spokesperson of the concerned students of Legon.